Did Mickey tell you that we sometimes work together? Luke leaned back in his seat with what seemed like a smirk.
I heard you run a magazine.
In Frame. I straightened. The name is a take on photography, what's in the shot or in the frame. We're looking at trends, what is next to come into focus, whether it's global politics, culture, religion, fashion, lifestyle. We have beats all over the world with our reporters and writing looking at trends bubbling to the surface. We're known for our photography. I was beginning to sound like a brochure, so I stopped myself before adding that In Frame had just won the National Magazine Award and had been described as one of the most important magazines contributing to not only the national but global stage. The hostess finally handed me a new black napkin, and I spread it across my lap. I was nervous and crossed my legs so they'd stop shaking. Why was I so anxious about a man I'd already decided I had no interest in? I chalked it up to nerves and getting back into the dating scene. But there was something else.
In Frame, that's right, he said. I've seen it on the newsstands.
It's bigger than most magazines, I offered. It makes the photos really jump. He took a deep breath and looked at the table as he spoke.
You haven't changed. I mean, you have changed. The hair, mostly. It's more of a copper color now.
He began studying his fork.
I'm sorry,
he mumbled. Excuse me? I thought I'd misunderstood him. We've just met. I laughed and rearranged my own fork and knife. He flipped open his menu, scanned it, and then slapped it down, his head tilted.
Do I look familiar to you at all?
I shook my head, suddenly embarrassed. Have we met before? I have the worst memory.
Nothing? Really?
He leaned in closer. I assumed so I could inspect his face. His small, deep blue eyes danced above the lit votive on the table. I noticed his face had an unintentional tan, like he worked in a garden, and he had at least a day's worth of blonde stubble. Or was it gray? At that moment, in the light, something did seem familiar. Nope. But that was a lie.
I hate this moment.
He rubbed his legs, looking nervous.
I go about 30 years hating this moment, and then you call me and we do this all over again.
He circled his slender forefinger to illustrate.
I just haven't seen you in a long time.
I'm sorry. I call you?
Uh-huh. The first time was 1895 in France.
He paused.
Actually, that was your mother, but we don't need to get technical about it.
My mother? I was envisioning Margie Connor, my mother, who was at this very moment guzzling box wine and gobbling smoked Gouda cheese bits at her book club in Bethesda. This month, they were revisiting the Poisonwood Bible.
Then there was Los Angeles in 1935. Last time was Taos in 1970. Honestly, I wish you'd come back in Venice or somewhere a little more interesting. I mean, this Washington place is a swamp.
He scowled.
I know you see a resemblance to Paris here, but...
His voice drifted off, and he casually settled back into the banquette like he'd just told me about his day at the office. I exhaled loud enough to inadvertently catch the attention of the man at the next table. Let me get this clear. I called you in 1895? I placed my napkin on the table and eyed my jacket. Finally, I stood up. Mr. Varner, I'm sorry. You must have me confused with someone else.
Helen,
he said with an authority that surprised me.
I'm really not good at this, but theatrics are childish. Sit down.
Sit down? I leaned in, placing my hands on the table. You're a lunatic, Mr. Varner. I don't know you. I'm 33 years old, not 100. I've never met you in France, or anywhere else for that matter. And my mother? She works for the National Institutes of Health.